Hello everyone, my name is Abid. I'm from the Get Certified team. Like Gaurav stated, we are getting started and he'll be the trainer or the speaker for today's session. You can start it now. Okay, I'll go on mute, all yours.
Okay. Excellent. Thanks a lot. Welcome everybody. We are going to be talking about the basics of online reputation management. Just want to know whether you guys can put in something into the chat bar. Just let me know that you are here. I want to be able to confirm that I can interact with all of you here. Do send a message in the chat bar. I see that we've got Praveen who says hello, and Mithali and Sanket, I'm sorry about that. Hi Vidhi, Harsheen, excellent to have all of you over here. We do have a chat box and we do have a questions box. So it says Mithali is logging in. So excellent to see all of you here today, and I'm glad that you can see my screen. As always, feel free to put in any questions or comments that you may have along the way. It should be an interesting overview of reputation management. Reputation management is really, really critical when it comes to building a brand online. So just want to know really quick where you guys are from, what cities you are from, and that would be a great starting place to know. I see you've got Alexander, Bikash, hi Bikash, and Rachel, hey Sanket, awesome. We've got Bangalore here in the house. And today's going to be a fairly quick session, about 60 minutes. So hope you've got your pens and pads ready. Hope you're all settled in. We are going to be in really quick. So I see Harsheen's from Pune. Great to know that we've got people from Pune online as well. I am from Pune. I'm going to be giving you a little bit of an introduction about myself and how I've been really fortunate enough to have the internet work on my behalf, having been able to really do a lot of growing, a lot of selling simply by being online. So I'm going to be sharing my story with you as how I got started with growing businesses on the internet, growing my brand on the internet, and what that's really done for bottom line. So excited to get started. Today we are going to be talking about reputation management, and I think all of us here are extremely familiar with Google, and everybody is Googling things all the time. I know that's true at least for myself. Whether I'm looking for a review or whether I'm just doing research on the internet, or if I'm just looking at doing some casual shopping maybe on Amazon or on Flipkart or on eBay and one of these websites. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little bit of a true story over here. Since we are talking about reputation management, I want to be able to really dive in and show you how you can essentially structure a brand for yourself, how you can essentially use these shortcuts, use these templates, use these hacks in order to start building or further growing your online business. So when we are talking about reputation management, we are talking about your reputation online. We are talking about what happens when people actually go ahead and Google your name. Let me know in the chat bar if anybody is guilty of Googling their name and to see what kind of results show up. I think that is an extremely good starting point. I think a great starting point is when you actually start Googling yourself to see what kind of results show up for you. And this is how other people similarly are going to look you up and see what kind of links show up under your name. So let me know in the chat if we have anybody in the house who Googles themselves to see what kind of results come up. Are there any interesting stories, whether you've used this for a job interview? Let me know if any of you are also present on LinkedIn. That would be great to know. LinkedIn is a fantastic platform for you to be able to go ahead and start branding yourself. Okay, so Sanket says, I'm active on LinkedIn. Okay, so LinkedIn, as we all know, is an extremely popular professional network. If you aren't interested on socializing on social networks like Facebook or on YouTube, LinkedIn is such a solid network for you to be professionally listed. So I see Hirak says, if I Google my name, it shows Korean flower shop. This I did while searching for a domain name. Also present on LinkedIn, but not used it that much. Harsheen says, I'm also on LinkedIn. Sanket says, I'm on Blogger too. Got my homepage and website when I Google my name. That is absolutely fantastic, Sanket. That's essentially the fundamentals of online reputation management. What is it that shows up in Google? What is it that shows up on other networks when people go ahead and Google your name? We live in a day and age where Google is seriously oxygen. Starting off on the professional front, starting off with LinkedIn, if you are potentially even thinking of getting a new job, switching your career, enhancing your career, getting found by potential employers, you really should, number one, have a solid LinkedIn profile, because quite frankly, it is a standard operating procedure. It's a standard operating process for any HR company, no matter how big or small. If you do apply for a job, if you do apply for a position somewhere, there is a very, very, very high probability that people are going to Google your name. So that's just on the personal brand building front. If you are looking at a business, if you are looking at a startup, if you do have an established brand on the internet, the concept is still exactly the same. Is when people Google you, or when people Google your brand name, what shows up on the top 10, the top 20, or even the top 100 of the Google search results. Now, this could work tremendously in your favor. And like we've spoken about a little bit on the overview of the reputation management, is that being online can literally work as a double-edged sword for your reputation. On one hand, you can really build credibility for your professional brand. On the other hand, you are essentially opening yourself up to the entire internet for comments. When we talk more about social media marketing, we talk about two-way communication, where you can say something, when I can say something, where anybody literally with an internet connection has a voice. That's where a lot of people, they get a little nervous and think like, that might not really work well for me. So I really want to clear these misconceptions on social media. I literally believe that everybody, no matter whether they run a business or whether they are just starting up, should build a personal brand on the internet. People should start focusing on building a solid reputation. Building a reputation on the internet is definitely the way forward for people who are serious about getting ahead in life, for people who are serious about starting a business. The important thing to remember is that people are going to Google you, people are going to Google your brand names. So it's really imperative that you focus on this and you try and make this work for you in a really positive fashion. Okay. As we move forward in this webinar, we are going to be talking about safeguarding yourself by building immunity. If you are open to comments, you are open to people literally saying anything about you on the internet, it does make sense to go in prepared. It does make sense to have some kind of immunity, some kind of superpower that's going to come to your rescue when social media goes viral. Okay, I'm also going to talk to you a little bit about ethically bribing your way to raving fans. The internet is a wonderful place where you can build a fantastic following, you can build an amazing community. So I'm going to show you a little ways that you can ethically bribe your way to raving fans on the internet. More so, I'm going to give you a live case study on how you could literally build an autopilot selling machine using your reputation. So your reputation is really what's going to help you a lot when it comes to credibility. Credibility and selling go literally hand in hand. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways on how you can literally build an autopilot machine, autopilot selling machine that's going to help you with your reputation, going to help you with your selling. More so, I'm going to give you a reputation management protocol. I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about social media attacks and how you can literally react a sensible, keep calm kind of approach when social media hits the roof. Okay, so excited to have you guys over here. Let me know in the chat. Let me know if you are present on any other social network apart from LinkedIn. Let me know if you are on Facebook. Let me know if you're on Twitter. Let me know if you're on Instagram. Really like to know more about your social media habits. So let me know what platforms you frequently engage on. That could also give us a nice basis of where to look for. Okay, so just an out-of-topic question. I'm unable to read the chats of view participants. Is there any checkbox to tick? So there are two options, Vidhi. I believe there is a chat bar and there is a questions box. I think people are making the use of your question box. I think you should be able to see questions. Let me know if you can see Vidhi's question over here as well. And here we got Hira who says, I am on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. That is a nice, healthy mix of social networks that you've picked out, Hira. Anu says, I am active on Instagram. Sanket says, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and Pinterest. Really good to know that you are on Tumblr. You did mention you are a blogger, Sanket, so excited to see what you've got going on. Tani says, can you talk a little bit about Slack? So Slack is an incredible game-changing communication platform that's going to really help you manage your communications in one place. I'm going to talk to you more about tools, but before that, we're just going to kind of define the scope of today's webinar. It is really quick. It's a 60-minute webinar, so I'm going to give you kind of the key takeaways that you should be looking out for. Anu says, can't see the chat box. Anu, do check your questions. Vidhi's active on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. Hi Sadia, great to see you here. Vikas says, how to get to the chat option. So I think all of us are here. We are looking at two different things, and let's try to get one central place. Vidhi says, yes, can't see chats and participants. So today we are using GoToWebinar. So I think this may be a new platform for some of you. So you might want to just play around with it a little bit. You've got the go-to webinar control panel. Below that, you should see a attendees list. Not too sure about that for all of you. You do have a chat panel. So I've got a message from the Simplilearn team. Thanks for jumping in. Do look for the chat panel. Mitali says hello in the questions. So if we all could move to the chat panel and say hello here, that would be absolutely great. That will help us all be in the same communication, chat box. So I see that Mitali and Vidhi and Bikash and Sadhya and Tanvi, Sanket are all using questions. If we can move to the chat box, I see Rekha said hello in private message. Anyway, we'll jump in. We'll start taking questions later. Okay, don't worry about it too much. Let's just focus on the scope of this. I'll try to moderate between the questions and the chats. Not to worry about that. I'll keep you guys posted. So let's go back and focus a little bit on the webinar. We are just a 60-minute session today, so trying to squeeze in as much value as we can over here. So this is essentially the webinar. A little bit of a backstory of why I'm so passionate about reputation management. Okay. I'm going to jump into slides over here and tell you about what reputation management is. But before I go ahead and tell you about myself, I'm going to go ahead and Google myself, and maybe that will give you a little bit about an introduction. And this is something that I do hope all of you take back, because it's really important to structure, to be able to have this opportunity to showcase a positive message when building a brand for yourself or for your business. All right, so LinkedIn. So great to see that a lot of people here are on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is what is 9 out of 10 times going to show up for your name. So if you don't have any relevant results coming into the when people Google your name, I highly recommend building a professional LinkedIn profile. Let people know about your education. Let people know about your work experience. More importantly, once you do form healthy relationships, people are more likely going to leave recommendations for you. People are going to endorse your skills. If you look at any LinkedIn profile over here, I'm just going to show you how it's quickly structured and what you could do about your LinkedIn profile. So here you could put in direct headlines. So here I'm a digital marketing consultant. A few of my certifications and badges that I've undergone. Here is where you have the opportunity to get recommended by people. Recommendations and reputation management go so hand in hand. I think if you do have a professional LinkedIn page, you do have reviews, you do have positive reviews coming in based on your experience, people are definitely going to give you added credibility. People are definitely going to give you a lot more preferential treatment once they do know that you've been around, once they do know that you have gained reputation on the internet. So here's another thing, once you are in the industry, your skills and endorsements, people definitely start endorsing you for businesses or skills that you do have. So LinkedIn, I would say, is the number one writer-downer. Definitely go ahead and create an effective profile. You've got options to put in your education, your certifications, recommendations. It's really too good a platform too good a professional network to pass up on if you are remotely interested in growing your brand on the internet. So number one is LinkedIn. That will 9 out of 10 times show up for position number one in Google. Interestingly enough, Your Story, which is a platform, which is an entrepreneur network, it's a really popular blog. They cover different stories. So if you do go ahead and check that out, you're going to see different listings with your name. If you are listed with Your Story, if you are listed with other platforms that I'm going to be talking to you about, your name, your pictures, your images are going to start showing up. So step number one is to Google yourself. Step number two is go ahead, create an impressive looking LinkedIn profile. These are things 100% in your control. There's absolutely no excuse for not having a LinkedIn profile. So that's step number one. Step number two is if you are a blogger, if you do have if you are part of a community, if you are part of an organization, if you are part of an educational system, you're part of a university, here on position number 3, you've got a university that's showing up over here. Universities inherently have a lot of weightage with Google. Google inherently gives a lot more weightage to websites that have an educational background. So if you are a college student, if you do have an association, if you do frequently give guest lectures at blogs, that's a great place to get listed for your brand, because that is definitely going to start showing up high up on your top 10 results. The top 10 results are something that you need to guard. This is the basis. These are really the basics of reputation management, where you take control to the best of your ability to what shows up for your brand name and for your personal brand. Okay, so LinkedIn is an easy no-brainer. If you are a blogger, if you do get featured on websites and blogs like Your Story, that again is a no-brainer. Now these websites come with a ton of authority, they come with a ton of trust. So if you are able to get listed on news websites, if you are able to get listed on other people's blogs, would highly recommend you go ahead and make that approach. Facebook, glad to see that majority of our participants here are on Facebook. So Facebook is something that's going to show up again for you. Now this is another directory. Directories are great places to go ahead and get listed with, especially directories that are related to your business, that are related to your industry, that are related to your personal interests. So these are things that will show up on the top 10 of Google, or the top 20, or the top 100 of Google. So by simply creating effective profiles, by simply creating profiles that are complete, that is what's going to start showing up for you and for your brand when people go ahead and Google you. Okay. About.me, here is another amazing platform which I believe is available for free. Anybody can go ahead and create an About Me page. An About Me page is another opportunity where you let people know more about yourself. This is valuable information that you control. You could go ahead and create a profile about yourself. That's what the platform is, About.me. So inherently, it's got a lot of information that's going to show up about with your name. So after you get a good LinkedIn profile, if this is a writer-downer, go ahead and write down About.me. This is got super authority with Google. If you go ahead and create this page, you put in your images, you put in your videos, you put in as much information as you can about yourself, you can be fairly certain that this will show up for you within the top 10. Twitter is instantaneously getting indexed by Google. Twitter is a very popular social media platform. It's all about real time. So here you can see Google's gone ahead and indexed this tweet online reputation management 10 hours ago. You can see the Twitter icon over here. So if you are on Twitter, good probability that your top 10 will display your handle as well. So now something that I do want to point out over here is you should have a consistent first name and last name, what you want to go by, so that Google can easily categorize and map this and they can find your images. The more information that you can give Google to link everything that you own, to link all your assets together on the internet, the better chances you have of controlling your reputation. So LinkedIn, we've got educational websites, we've got blogs that are showing up, we've got Facebook, we've got directories, about.me, so go ahead and use that as a great source to brand yourself, brand your company. Twitter, real time. Now Quora, again, a very interesting question and answer social media platform where you can ask questions and answers for literally anything under the sun. A little bit of a bio, so husband to Mera, boss at work, business excite, whiskey entertains, and life teaches me something new, something amazing every single day. You see that Google is automatically going to pick up images as well. They do just a fantastic job. Google is, probably knows your business way better than yourself. They know who your friends are, they know where you're speaking at, they know what webinars you're coming out. So real quick, I'm going to click on images because images, again, is an extremely important reputation management tool. What shows up when people Google your name? What shows up when people, go ahead and Google you? Now, these quite obviously are images that are taken from social platforms, which is absolutely incredible. I've not gone ahead and listed out these images or gone and pasted them somewhere. These are images that Google automatically tags, automatically finds and uses based on their algorithm. The same way they pick up the top 10 rankings for your images, they do the same with pictures as well, and you can see they're all pretty relevant. More and more information over here, the companies that I'm associated to. Here's an interesting book that I'd like to probably share with you guys later on, which is on Amazon. So Google is literally going ahead and picking up everything that you've got. They've got a picture of your dog, they've got a picture of your swimming pool, they index YouTube, they pick up things that are pretty impressive in terms of technology, the way they're able to laser target you. This is a picture of my friend, this is a picture of my team over here. So they picked it up from your story, they picked it up from Facebook. So very interesting yet powerful when it comes to managing your reputation online. Definitely want you guys to start labeling your images wherever you do, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's anybody else. So that is another super opportunity. SlideShare is a great platform to go ahead and upload your presentations. SlideShare is a great place to share your work. So if you are looking at setting up your profiles, go ahead and create SlideShare as well. If you could even jump into, say, a page 7, and you're going to see that people have picked up, Google's picked up things that you've done, even 8 years ago. Here is another great platform that I highly recommend you to adapt if you are a blogger. Definitely check out Medium. I'm randomly going to go ahead and show you some more platforms that you can use. This is medium.com. They've got so much authority over here. This is a blog post I wrote about a year ago, celebrating 8 years in business. Here's another potential place that Google's picked up. So every image that you use in your blog post. This was a team that we had about 8 years ago when my dad and me started this company back in 2007. We grew up on different platforms like Elance, where we really had to work very hard in building a reputation. Today's all the talks about reputation management, and over a period of time, we were able to get a 95% positive recommendation for the work that we did. This was a service business that we operated, an overall 4.6 out of 5 stars rating. So these are the kind of things that have really helped scale our operations. When potential customers and potential people are reviewing this, they know that you've been around, they know that you've built a reputation in the past. Here is just another picture of a team that we grew. That is a picture of my wife over here, and a picture of my dog Bam Bam, who works with us, and there is another picture of myself. Again, you have an opportunity to put in your descriptions here. You have the opportunity to link to Twitter. You have the opportunity to share on Facebook. We are living in a super connected world over here. So everything that you put up on the internet, you can be fairly certain that is going to be picked up from Google for good or for bad. So here we've got, basics of online reputation management, Simplilearn. So Google is literally indexing things every single minute. They know that we've got a webinar coming up. They are tracking so many different social metrics that it is really interesting to see what shows up, what you've been up to, and that again is the fundamentals of reputation management. We've got about 30 minutes left to cover this up. So when we are looking at reputation, Google is one huge area. Of course, we've got other platforms that really do matter, different social networks like Facebook and Instagram. All of these tools, all of these platforms are literally adding credibility to your brand. All these social media efforts that you invest into building a brand is going to last for a lifetime. That's the essence of building a social media or building a reputation on the internet. These things last for a lifetime. It's not only about what people are searching for you today, it's going to be what people are searching about you 5 years and 10 years from now. What shows up? Is it the image that you want to portray, or is it something that you maybe are not really impressed about that shows up when people go ahead and Google your name? So we are going to be talking about a few of these advanced strategies that will kind of show you how to tackle these social media efforts, how to tackle your reputation online, show you a couple of shortcuts and hacks that you can use to literally build immunity. Sure, we'll definitely be, let me try to go into presentation mode, full screen mode. I'm going to be switching between browsers and this. That's all there really is on the screen over here. So step number 1, Google yourself, look at platforms, look at profiles, look at Google to see what comes up when people Google your name. Go ahead and register this for your business. Register your name, start mapping that out. So we did a quick Google will tell you about me. Gone are the days where you need to introduce yourself. People are, like we've seen prior, are going to Google you and get information. Today we move to a day where we tell Google, tell me what to think. Whether we are talking about hotel reservations, whether we're looking at purchasing something from Amazon. Amazon is probably the largest review engine. Whether we're looking at buying books, whether we are looking at buying gadgets, whether we're looking at buying anything, people are going to go ahead and check out reviews. This is what the internet says about you. There are different types of ways. Here we got Hirak over here, appreciate that. But this is the classic example of social proof, where people are able to go ahead and read something about it and then make an educated decision. So reputation management, it's not only on Google, but it is also on Amazon. So if you are looking at selling products, if you are looking at even buying products, you're going to look at the reputation of that particular product. All right, so we've got about 20 minutes in over here. I'm going to start taking questions in the last 10 minutes, but I hope you see why reputation on the internet is important for you, and why you should think about this as a long-term strategy rather than a quick fix. Okay, so think about reviews, Amazon, TripAdvisor. If you're looking at building an itinerary, you're traveling somewhere, you're going to be looking at TripAdvisor, Booking.com, seeing what other guests, seeing what other people are saying about this property. So there are two major aspects of reputation management. The first is what you control, which is probably the first step that you should think about investing in, as to what you can control. You can control so many different channels. You can control what content goes on the internet about you. The second reputation angle that you should focus upon is the conversations, is what other users are saying about you. Social media is a two-way communication platform. So you really want to start building brand ambassadors. You really want to start building credibility and authority with what people are searching for when it comes to your brand. Okay, so what's interesting over here, talking about reputation management. Reputation management is what people say behind your back. Offline it's often Chinese whispers. Chinese whispers is how reputations or beliefs or commonalities are formed, really quickly. While we are talking about reputation management, if we were to simply go ahead and Google reputation over here, or what is reputation? Reputation is the beliefs or opinions that are generally held about someone or something. A widespread belief that someone or something has a particular characteristic. So an example would be his knowledge of the subject earned him a reputation as an expert. So reputation just matters so much. It's about your business, it's about your brand. Definitely recommend you to take pride in building a solid reputation online, because this is something that can essentially make or break your brand. Online is really about black or white. If you Google certain things and you get nasty reviews about a particular product, it's out there in the open. So you need to be cautious about how you go ahead with your social media and how you can efficiently control and manage this. Really quickly, I think social media is so volatile that it is important for everybody to invest in building assets, in building online assets. We're talking about assets like your LinkedIn profile. This is in your control. LinkedIn serves as an asset to your business. building brand ambassadors. Okay, so we got a question about from Sadia saying, do people fake reviews praise too? I mean, I can tell a few of my friends to give me good reviews. What about that? So, that's a great question, Sadia, and I'm going to be talking to you about ways on how you can literally ignite the fire, how you can start this process, the right way to go about this, what people do, how they do it. But at the end of it, social media is so powerful that people can quite simply and easily see through complete fake nonsense. Fake nonsense can definitely earn you a reputation, but it will probably earn you a more tarnished image when people realize that you're trying to fake your own reviews. Do people do that? Sure they do. Is it a recommended strategy? Absolutely not. Though I will be showing you ways on how you can legitimately start building this following for your brand, how you can literally have brand ambassadors. Go ahead, people who you don't know, people who you've never met before, go ahead and start supporting you on the internet. So having an action plan is what you should be focusing on. It's all about taking tiny steps. We see that Sagar, we got a question from saying that what if someone's giving false reputation and on that abroad it'll be a loss of mind. So, that's the reason why you've got so many different review sites, you've got so many different platforms that you have the luxury of choosing from. Majority of the Amazon purchases or majority of these reviews will have a lot of biased opinions. And we're going to be talking a little bit about social media tax. Social media tax is something that I think is important to know about. Whenever there's too much of a good thing, whenever things are going well for you, there is going to be this small percentage of haters on the internet. There's going to be a small percentage of bluffers and scam artists. That's unfortunately the fact of life. So really taking a step back, going on a step by step, building a list of ambassadors, building a list of healthy reputation is what's recommended. Look at how many people are saying this. If there's just one person who's leaving a review, you don't have to trust that. But if 500 people or 50 people or 100 people are going ahead and recommending this particular source, it's just going to give you an added edge in being able to tackle that. Okay, so we talked about a little bit about social media attacks, how you could look for these fraudsters, how you could differentiate yourselves by getting legitimate, authentic reviews for yourselves. Really quickly, and I've seen this a lot of times with entrepreneurs. The question from Vikas saying, can you tell me about brand ambassadors? Definitely will give you a couple of examples of brand ambassadors and how you could go ahead and start building this community for yourself. Brand ambassadors are essentially people who are willing to talk about you in public simply because they trust your brand. Okay? So the more brand ambassadors you have, the more people who like your brand, the more people who share your brand, the more people who leave positive reviews. These are people who are brand ambassadors who will come to your rescue in times of social media crisis. So the name of the game is to build your army of brand ambassadors and get people, incentivize people, ethically bribe people to go ahead and share legitimate real-time reviews for your brand. So Sagar says, what's on Google? That's 100%. How does media game with that? So, the same way they say don't judge a book by its cover, a lot of people have taken advantage of really putting up such elaborate stories on different media websites. All this does exist. What you really should be thinking about here is how you can build a positive, legitimate, business of a positive brand on the internet. There are a lot of strategies that are out there, but I feel the truth always does come out on social media. Whether you like it or not, the voice is going to speak. So you got to be able to spot trusted sources. You're going to need to spot trusted reviews in order to move forward. So I've seen this a ton of times in social media conflicts. A lot of people understandably take their brand really personally. If people say something about their brand, even if they're giving honest feedback, there is sometimes, you give a snap judgment, you start blowing things out of proportion, where that is really not the recommended strategy on the internet. The recommended strategy is to keep calm, acknowledge what people are talking about, listen to them. If you are at fault, and all businesses and everyone is at some point going to be at fault, that's when you can really make an angry customer. You can go ahead and make it right. You can go ahead and go the extra mile for that customer, ensuring that you've taken care, you've listened to them, you've heard from them, and you've gone ahead and done what is right. Okay, fantastic place to build relationships with people. I've seen more often than not, if you are able to take an agitated customer, you are able to have a conversation with them, you are able to build a relationship with them, there is a chance to switch them from an upset customer into a raving brand ambassador. Okay, so fight or flight, I highly recommend that you listen to it. Don't make snap judgments on the internet. Take your time to acknowledge what people are saying, respond to it sensibly. You don't want emotions oozing out. You don't want to aggravate the problem. You simply want to acknowledge it. You simply want to make things right so that you can move on with your day, so that you can build a healthy list of customers and brand ambassadors. All right, so really quick, few guidelines that we should focus on is always try and respond quickly. Always try and respond as promptly as you can. In most cases, that nips the bud right before it becomes something bigger than it was supposed to be. The quicker you respond, the quicker you're able to tackle a customer's challenge, the faster you're going to be able to resolve any kind of efforts that you may need to tackle. Acknowledge mistakes. No shame in making mistakes as long as you're able to correct them and as long as you are able to move forward. If you do have a ranting customer, if you do have an upset customer, try and take conversations offline. Create a unique handle for similar requests. And understandably, when a company like Airtel or a company like Vodafone or a huge telecom company has got a gazillion customers, they've got so many different customers all across the country or all across the world, naturally there are going to be downtimes. Naturally there are going to be things when things aren't working right. So at those situations, social media can get pretty nasty. It's definitely a full-time job to start monitoring your reputation, but I would say most of the problems are going to be able to get tackled if the company is able to acknowledge, if a company is able to take conversations and make them right. Personalize your responses. Don't take it personally. If you are a business, you really want to have an escalation plan, really depending on the size of your business. If you do have franchises, if you do have offices across the country, or you're a global brand, you've got different levels of management, you've got stakeholders, you've got customers, you've got employees, then you really want to take some time and build out an escalation plan, build out a social media matrix so that you know what you should be doing if things go bad. They say there's no disaster if you're prepared for the disaster. So really keep all your ammunition ready, keep case studies, keep references, keep customers, keep brand ambassadors all on standby if you are going all out on social media. Again, lucky number 7 is tend to go the extra mile for your customers, whether it's responding to their emails on time, whether it's arranging events, arranging conferences. Go the extra mile to build this relationship with your online visitors. Go ahead and take the time, invest in yourself, invest in your brand, and literally going the extra mile to build this fantastic online reputation. Okay, so follow up with people if they are getting in touch with you on your Twitter, they are leaving comments on your blog, they are leaving comments on your different profiles. Engage with them. You want this to be a two-way communication. I would highly recommend never to delete negative comments. Always snapshot. It's really very easy to snapshot your work. So go ahead and snapshot your screens. Go ahead and keep proof. I think the more proof that you keep on the internet, the better it is for everyone. Don't delete negative comments, with the exception of if you've got hate speech, you've got some vulgar profanity stuff going on your walls. If you know that this is just completely out there to tarnish your image, if it's a competitor, you know that it's an effort to sabotage your self-interest, that's the only exception I would make in order to deleting these kind of comments on your networks. That said, always keep proof, take snapshots so that you're safeguarding you're taking care of your self-interest. Monitor conversations about your brand. You really want to be using software and tools. I've got a list of 6 different tools that I want to share with you before we end this webinar that is really going to help you in monitoring your brand. Monitoring your brand, getting self-aware of your brand is imperative. We started off this webinar, we started off this session on the basics of online reputation management by Googling. We're looking out for what people are searching for. I think you should have at least an arsenal of assets. You should be present. You should have a presence on different networks that are relevant to your business. You should be on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Quora, your story. If you're a blogger, if you get featured on these different news websites, the more you actually go ahead and put yourself out there, whether you're part of an educational institute, these things are what show up in Google. So that would be my kind of guide, my kind of shortcuts is if you go ahead and create relevant profiles, you fill it out with information that's relevant to your business, that is when you should, that's going to be a good scene. Another very important aspect of reputation management, and it's really a short session today, we dive into building the social profile and social media in a lot more detail in the DMCA program. Today is a quick 60-minute session. So if you are serious about really building a brand on the internet, I would think that step number 1 is use your social platform. Step number 2 is consider creating a blog for yourself. I think we already got Sanket over here who's got a blog, but for all our other participants over here, create a blog. Blogs are a platform where you can express. Blogs are another platform that you can control, into building your reputation online. So, give you a quick example of a blog. I recently started a blog. It's fairly simple to do. Build this blog just in a couple of days, it's a digital marketing daddy where talk a little bit about some of my interests in doing business on the internet and reputation management and things like this. While we are in the process of talking about reputation management, I wanted to point you out to a real world case study. We've got proof attached. Social media is really about proof and what you can put out there. So here's a blog post that I felt like putting out there when we were talking about reputation management and reviews. So I started off with a fair disclaimer, and feel free to read my disclaimer to understand exactly where I'm coming from. But this is my honest, frank review. It's 100% my opinion. So you could feel free to read that whenever you like, whenever you get a chance. But more importantly, what I found really, really interesting and inspiring was some unbiased, real-time reviews that were coming in. This was information that was completely anonymous, but people did feel the need to share. Post that, we had a fantastic show of strength. Platforms like Quora, we looked at Quora earlier. These are social proof websites. These are websites that are open to everybody. It's open to the internet. So we've got Quora over here. We've got websites like Mouth Shut. And you can see that Simplilearn's really built a fantastic reputation on these different platforms simply by making it a priority, by simply making it a part of the process to build your reputation online. So this was something that I had a blog, so I just pulled out things that I found super inspiring. We do talk a lot more about building your brand. We talk a lot more about your social media platform, about your presence, how you can literally personalize. You can do search engine optimization. You can personally SEO your website in the DMCA program. So, if you are looking at enhancing your presence on the internet, if you are looking at building a reputation for your brand, you definitely want to focus more on these aspects. So I know we are almost out of time here, but would love to take questions and get feedback as to what you guys think about reputation. If you've got any question that you've got, what you should be looking out for, now would be the time to ask. Definitely, you want to empower yourself, invest in your future, get certified, get ahead. That's definitely Simplilearn's goal, definitely Simplilearn's vision is in getting people certified to get ahead. So, open for questions right now. I'm going to minimize this. Minimize my screen. Let me know in the chat bar what you guys feel about reputation management, whether you think it's something important, whether you think you've learned something new, whether you think it's important to really take a step back and focus on building your brand. Okay, just doing a quick audio video, so whether you guys can see my background right now. Whether you can hear me all right. And finally, if you've got any questions, we'd be happy to take them. It is 10 p.m. here. Salia says, no questions from my side. Arup says, is it advisable? Hey Arup, great to have you on this webinar. Is it advisable to delete tweets or Facebook posts if you feel they are inappropriate? So, like we said earlier on the webinar, if you feel that someone is personally attacking you or they're talking complete crap about you, which is not true, which you feel is, tarnishing your reputation, take a snapshot of it and delete it. You don't want to have the hassle of dealing with these guys. So Anu says, are there any tools that you can manage your reputation? Glad you asked that, Anu. Just going to quickly pick that up over here. And here is a list of 6 tools that you can start using to, one, register these names. Even if you don't plan on immediately becoming active on all these social platforms that we've spoken about, then I would recommend you at least block these names that are available. There are a ton of these websites that will help you, manage all your social media in one place. You've got Names, which is fantastic. They do a lot of tracking. Trackio is another cool platform. The first one actually that I should mention would be Google Alerts. Google Alerts is absolutely delightful when it comes to managing your reputation online, because every single time a tweet or a blog post or something is mentioned about you, that is when Google is going to send you a personal message to your inbox saying that, hey, somebody's talking about you. Go ahead and respond. Go ahead and take a snapshot of it. Go ahead and start building your case. Sadia says, how often do you think we should follow up with our clients? How often do you think we should follow up with our clients? So, with social media, you always kind of want to stay top of mind, but I think the message that you want to amplify is really critical. What is it that you are trying to say? You don't want to get to an extent where you're annoying them. At the same time, you want to constantly keep providing them with the valuable information. It depends what part of the sales cycle they are in. Is it the first time they're hearing about you? Are they considering purchasing you? How often should you be in their face? As long as you think that it's healthy, as long as you're not, as long as you're giving them value, I think you should be all good. Then he says, when I search my name on Google, it shows 20 more people with a similar name. Is there a way that I can have my name on the top? So one thing I would recommend is keeping all these profiles set up. Your LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. I would highly recommend everybody in this day and age to definitely go ahead and block their first name, last name.com if it is still available. If it isn't available, then look for the next best option like a .in or a depending on your geographical location or your industry. You want to build your first name, last name.com. If you feel that you're never going to use it, I would still recommend you go ahead and purchase it so that you prevent misuse of your brand name. You own your first name and last name. That's your name. That's what is your reputation. You definitely want to take these steps in building assets. You definitely want to take these steps in building immunity, so that when people Google you, so that when people are reviewing you or searching for your product or for your service or for your industry, you've got a nice reputation showing up. Arup says, great webinar, sir. Appreciate you showing up here, Arup. If you are looking for more information, check us out at Simplilearn. We do have a DMCA program. Tanvi says, how do I create the name.com? You could go ahead and register, or you could check out GoDaddy. You could check out GoDaddy.com and search for your name, your first name, last name.com. And if it's available, go ahead and register it. If it's not, look for something that has your first name, last name, and none of these domains, as you can see, they're fairly inexpensive. If you are looking at protecting your brand, I would think that this is a small insurance fee that you should consider taking. So will it be like a domain? Yeah, get a domain name, get that set up, put in your bio, put in your blogs. Blogs are really a fantastic place to share information. You can look at leaving reviews, you can look at sharing expert information in your space so that you become a credible source in your industry. These are pretty much universal. All these platforms that I pointed out to you are universal. So go ahead, register yourselves, build your assets, monitor your reputation, at least with Google Alerts. It's 100% free. There are other tools that are available for you to manage your reputation. Because can we get the recording of this? I believe that the Simplilearn team will definitely be sending these links out to you once the webinar is over. But we wait for a confirmation from the Simplilearn team. Hope you guys enjoyed today's overview. Really, really short session on reputation management. A lot more to get into, a lot more shortcuts and hacks that you could implement into building your personal brand or your business. Thanks for showing up today. My name is Gaurav Rupaksani. If you have any more questions, let me know. Else, feel free to exit the webinar and have a fantastic day. If you enjoy this, do share us on social media. Do help us build our reputation, as that's what it's really about. Have a great evening. Vinny says thanks. Vikas says great session. Have a great day. Hirat says okay, thanks. Good night. Is the replay available? It should be available, Arup, if you have signed up for the webinar, which I believe you have. And the Simplilearn team should be sending you out a recording whenever it's on the cloud. So Harshin says, just want to share with you, Gaurav, you had an online marketing talk in the SWIMS Institute. I'm also from SINS, so Pune connection. Harshin, awesome. Thanks for showing up over here. As you can see that, I'm not sure whether you caught this. Like I mentioned, educational institutes. You got a talk on online marketing, so I think this is what you were referring to. So appreciate the comment and thanks for letting me know that you've actually made it all the way to the webinar. Appreciate it, Anu. Have a good night, Sadia. Thanks for showing up, Aru. More than welcome. Appreciate the comments, Tanvi. Have a great night, evening, and look forward to interacting with you on the internet at somewhere else. Thanks a lot, Rekha. Have a good night.